One day it was raining. You never saw such rain. Streams of water poured down from low clouds. There was thunder and lightning. Electric light poles had been struck by the lightning, and there was no electricity for television or radio or anything else. In a little white house on Main Street, two sisters named Judy and Jill were sitting at a window, just looking out at the rain. They were very good children, but on a rainy day, what can good children do?
What can you do on a rainy day? What can you do when you can't go out and play? Our backyard looks like an old mud hole. It's a mighty fine day for a little tadpole. Oh, what can you do on a rainy day? What can you do when you can't go out and play? We could play with dolls, I'm tired of that. We could play some jacks, oh no, not that. Oh, what can you do on a rainy day? What can you do on a rainy day? We can't go out 'cause it's much too wet. We'll have to stay in all day, I bet. Oh, what can you do on a rainy day? What can you do on a rainy day?
I bet there are 1,000 raindrops.
1,000? You mean 1,000,000 or 1,000,000,000? I bet you couldn't count that much in 100 years.
Oh, Judy, you're silly. No one could sit just counting for 100 years.
I can count to 1,000,000. I bet you couldn't even count to 100.
Oh, yes, I can.
Why don't you children play a game of some kind?
But, Mother, we are. We're playing a number game.
Oh, Mother, we are not. Judy's just said there are millions of raindrops. That's not a game.
But counting can be a game. There are all kinds of number games. There are counting games and grouping games and calculating games.
What's grouping?
What's calculating?
I'll tell you in a little while. This is such a perfect day for games that we'll make it a number game afternoon. We'll play number games and make up our own number songs. We'll calculate.
What's calculating?
To calculate means to work with numbers and to figure things out, to add numbers together, to take a number away from another number.
I'd rather just sing.
I'd rather count.
We'll do both. We'll sing all about the things we count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We count marbles, we count sticks. 7, 8, and 9, and 10. We count ladies, we count men. We count everything we see, every leaf and every tree. We count years and months and days. We count things 1,000 ways. Count your fingers, count your toes, count the buttons on your clothes, count each piece of apple pie, count the stars up in the sky. We count everything we see, count 'em up with a 1, 2, 3. And when all this work is done, you'll find counting can be fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hear the clock and count the ticks. 7,
Now we'll do a little calculating. How much is 1 and 1?
That's easy. 2.
Right. Now how much is 1 and 1 and 1?
It's 3.
Correct. Let's try a big one. How much is 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1?
5.
Very good. Let's try adding 2's. Jill, how much is 2 and 2?
4.
That's right. Now, Judy, how much is 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2?
I know. It's the same as 5 2's.
Please, Jill, let Judy answer.
I'll calculate. 2 and 2, that's 4. Then 2, that's 6. Then 2, that's 8. And 2 more, so it's 10.
Very good. Now let's play another game. This is an estimating game.
What's estimating?
To estimate means to guess how many things there are in a group without really counting each one of them. You just take a look and then you say a number that you think might be right. Let's try the bookshelf. How many books do you estimate to be in the top shelf?
I bet there's 100.
I estimate 25.
All right, let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. There are 23 books. Well, Judy, you were the closest. You estimated 25. Let's try it again. Let's see. There are 2 windows in the room. Each window has many panes of glass. How many are there altogether? Don't really count them, just estimate. In a way, it's like guessing. And Jill, don't just say 100. Try harder.
All right. I'll say 20.
I'll estimate 19.
Now let's count each row.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's one window. Now the other one.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Jill won. She was the closest by estimating 20. Judy estimated 19.
I've got a good thing to estimate. I want to see if you and Jill can estimate how many buttons there are in Mother's button box. Here it is. I know just how many there are because I counted them yesterday.
Oh dear, I haven't the faintest idea.
Well, just look and try to figure out a guess at how many there are.
I guess I should practice estimating more. Let's see. I'll say 115.
That's too many. I'll say 80.
There are exactly 76 buttons. Jill won again. 80 is closer to 76 than 115.
I didn't know I was so good.
That's because you never tried it before. When you try things, you often find out that you can do a lot of things you never thought you could do. Now, there are lots of things we can really count, and there are lots of things we really can't count.
How many stars are in the sky? How many birds that fly on high? How many sunbeams every day? How many miles is far away? How many snowflakes on the ground? How many fishes in a pond? How many hairs are on your head? How many words that have been said? I wonder how many, I wonder how many leaves are on the trees, how many boats are on the seas, how many berries in a pie, how many times do I wonder why? How many songs that have been sung, how many bells that have
bet there's not even enough numbers in the whole world to count all those things.
Oh, yes, there are. They have ways to count up to anything. But let's get back to calculating some things we can count right here. When we counted the window panes, you noticed that each row had 3 window panes. They were in groups of 3, and each window has 4 rows of 3 panes each. Now that's another number game. We'll arrange numbers in groups or patterns like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or we could count the rows by 3s like this. 3, 6, 9, 12.
I can do that with all the even numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and all the rest.
How about groups of 2s, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
Good. What's this? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's counting backwards.
Right. These are all groups or patterns of numbers. Can you count by tens?
10, 20, 30, 40.
50, 60, 70, 80.
Now you're catching on. Let's see if you can figure this out. I'll give you 2 numbers, and you add them up. 9 and 1.
That makes 10.
8 and 2.
That's also 10.
7 and 3.
10.
6 and 4.
10.
5 and 5.
10.
Right. Each group I gave you made 10. Now I can make a pattern. 9 and 1. 8 and 2. 7 and 3. 6 and 4. What's next?
5 and 5.
Good for you. Now here's another game. It's called bigger than and smaller than. You know that Judy is bigger than Jill. Well then, Jill is smaller than Judy. 2 is bigger than 1, and 1 is smaller than 2.
1,000 is bigger than 100, and 100 is smaller than 1,000.
That's exactly the game. How about 59 and 54?
59 is bigger than 54, and 54 is smaller than 59.
63 and 42.
63 is bigger than 42, and 42 is smaller than 63.
Apples and pumpkins.
Pumpkins are bigger than apples, and apples are smaller than pumpkins.
We know a song about what is bigger than and what is smaller than.
I'd love to hear it.
I am bigger than you. You are smaller than me. 5 is bigger than 2, and 1 is smaller than 3.
Dogs are smaller than cows. Horses bigger than cats. Trains are bigger than plows. And eagles bigger than bats. Moons are smaller than stars. 7 smaller than 10. Trucks are bigger than cars, and children smaller than men.
That was a very nice song. Well, it's still raining, and it's almost getting dark. But we'll have time for more songs and numbers. How about playing N plus 1?
What's that?
It's a fancy name, but it's really adding. N means a certain number, the one we will try to find. I'll give you an example. If I add 1 to N and get 5, what would N be?
4 and 1 are 5, so it must be 4.
Good. Try this. N plus 3 is 7.
N is 4.
N plus 10 is 20. What's N?
That's too big for me.
I'll help you. 10 and 10 is 20, so N has to be 10.
Suppose I ask you N minus 1 is 4.
Does minus mean to take away?
Yes, it does. To take a number away from another is called subtracting. Try this. 4 minus 1.
3.
10 minus 2.
10, 9, 8.
5 minus 5.
There wouldn't be anything. What do you say? Nothing?
Nothing is called 0.
Oh, look outside. Daddy's coming.
He's getting all wet.
Oh dear, he didn't even take an umbrella.
Hurry up, Dad. Run faster.
Wow, is that wet out there?
Hello, Daddy.
Hi, Dad.
Here, let me take your wet coat, and you'll be better off to get those wet shoes off, too.
Well, it's a shame it's been raining so hard all day. I guess you just had to stay inside.
But we've had lots of fun.
Fun? What can you do on a rainy day? What can you do when you can't go out and play?
Oh, do you know that song, too?
What song?
What you just said. You say it again, but sing the words to this melody.
You mean like this? What can you do on a rainy day? What can you do when you can't go out and play?
You can play with numbers.
You can estimate.
You can count to 100.
You can calculate.
Oh, what can you do on a rainy day? What can you do when you can't go out and play?
You can play a game called N minus 1.
You can group your numbers.
Dad, it's fun.
So that's what you do on a rainy day. That's what you do on a rainy day.
How many songs that have been sung? How many bells that have been rung? How many clouds up in the sky? How many times do I wonder why?
Well, so you learned about numbers today.
We won't mind when it rains again. We'll use rainy days to keep learning more about numbers.
Dad, do you know any games or songs about numbers?
When I was little, my dad used to play a number game like this. I'm thinking of a number. If I add 2 to it, I'll have 4. So what is the number I'm thinking of?
You were thinking of 2.
How did you figure that out so quickly?
I know. It's the same as the game Mother taught us, called N plus 1. N is just the number you were thinking of.
Well, I'll have to keep up with this class. Try this. I'm thinking of a number. If I take away 2, I'll have 8.
Why, that's the same as n minus. Let's see. 2, 8. The number must be 10.
Right again. Oh, I do remember a song that helped me learn to take away ones. One little, 2 little, 3 little Indians, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indians, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little Indians, 10 little Indian boys. One little Indian ran away.
9 little Indian boys.
Another little Indian wouldn't stay.
8 little Indian boys.
One little Indian went to town.
7 little Indian boys.
Another little Indian, he fell down.
6 little Indian boys.
One little Indian climbed a tree.
5 little Indian boys.
Another little Indian went to sea.
4 little Indian boys.
One little Indian went to school.
3 little Indian boys.
Another little Indian jumped in a pool.
2 little Indian boys.
One little Indian climbed a pole.
1 little Indian boy.
Another little Indian fell in a hole.
No little Indian boys.
One little, 2 little, 3 little Indians, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indians, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little Indians, 10 little Indian boys. 10 little, 9 little, 8 little Indians, 7 little, 6 little, 5 little Indians, 4 little, 3 little, 2 little Indians, 1 little Indian, no little Indian boys. Now, let's try the same thing with a higher number. I'm thinking of a number. If you take 5 away from it, you'll have 10 left.
You're really thinking of a number that is 5 bigger than 10.
Correct.
So that's 15.
Very good. Say, can you count by 5s?
Oh, yes.
No, you can't.
Oh, yes, I can. You start with 5, and then add 5. That makes 10. 5 more is 15, and 5 more is 20.
Let's keep going, all together. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Enough. I believe you can count by 5s.
I can count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Mother calls that a pattern of numbers.
I know more patterns. Here's a pattern of 3 numbers in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0, which is really the same as nothing.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
They're really learning patterns and groups.
Good. Pretty soon they'll be able to help me out with my bills and accounts, or maybe even my income tax. Say, that gives me an idea. We can also learn counting by using money. Let's see how much change I have in my pocket. Here, Judy. What is this little brown coin?
A penny.
Which is equal to 1 penny, or 1 cent. Now, if I add 4 more of the same kind of coins, how much do I have altogether?
4 and 1, that makes 5. 5 cents.
Right. And now here's a shinier coin that says 5 cents on it. So it's really the same as, or it's equal to, the 5 pennies. Do you know what it's called?
A nickel.
Now, if I give you this nickel, not for keeps, but just for fun, and then I give you 3 pennies with it, how much will you have?
5 and 3, 8 cents.
And if I give you 2 more cents, how much will you have?
8, 9, 10 cents.
That's the same as a dime.
Right. Now, here's a dime. Although it's smaller than a penny, it's worth 10 pennies. And I'll add the nickel to it. So how much do you have altogether?
10 and 5. That's 15 cents.
All right, you have 15 cents. Now I'll add the 5 pennies to that. And another nickel. Now can you figure that out?
Well, 15 cents and 5 pennies make 20 cents.
And 20 and a nickel comes to 25 cents.
And we call 25 cents a quarter. Here, I'll give you this big quarter, and you give me the 25 cents. They're both equal to 25.
I'd rather just have a penny.
What would you do with that penny?
If I had a penny, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd buy a penny candy and give a piece to you. And when we ate the candy, we wouldn't have a penny. That's what I'd do. How about you?
If I had a nickel, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd buy a little pickle and give a bite to you. And when we ate the pickle, we wouldn't have a nickel. That's what I'd do. How about you?
If I had a dime, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd buy a little lime and give a squeeze to you. And when we squeezed the lime, we wouldn't have a dime. That's what I'd do. How about you?
If I had a quarter, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd buy some soda water and give a drink to you. And when we drank the water, we wouldn't have a quarter. That's what I do. How about you?
If I had a penny, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd buy a penny candy and give a piece to you. And when we ate the candy, we wouldn't have a penny. And
If I had a quarter, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd buy some soda water and give a drink to you. And when we drank the water, we wouldn't have a quarter. That's what I do. How about you? How about you? How about you? That was fun. But say, it's getting late. What's for supper tonight?
I baked a nice apple pie, and the dinner will be ready soon.
Say, Jill, if Mother cuts that pie in 2 pieces that are the same size, right down the middle, and gave you one of those pieces, how much pie would you have?
I'd have half of the pie.
I want the other half.
Well, that might be too much pie for you, but it would show us that 2 halves make one whole thing. Now, suppose Mother cuts the piece that you have, Jill, in half again. How much would you have then?
I don't know.
Well, you'd have 1/4 of the pie, and if she cut Judy's piece in half, Judy would have 1/4. Then I'll take the piece left over from yours, and Mother will take the piece left over from Judy's. And we'll each have 1/4 of a piece of pie. Then we know that 4 of these fourths also equals one whole pie. Now suppose the pie is cut in 4 pieces, and I eat one of them. How many would be left?
4 minus 1 is 3 pieces of pie.
You can call that 3/4 of the pie. Then suppose Mother eats another piece. How much is left?
2/4.
That's the same as a half.
Good. Now Judy eats the 3rd piece. How much is left?
1/4, I guess.
1/4 can also be called a quarter.
I thought a quarter was the same as 25 cents.
It is, because later on, when you learn larger numbers, you'll find that 25 cents is 1/4 or 1/4 of 100 cents, which is the same as $1.
A quarter, or the fourth of anything, means that it has been divided into 4 equal parts.
Let's sing something about numbers.
Good. What songs have numbers in them?
1, 2, button your shoe.
That's for babies.
I know A Bicycle Built for Two.
That only goes up to 2.
3 blind mice.
That only goes up to 3.
I know a song about the things we really should count. We should count our blessings.
What's blessings?
How high does it go? How many are there?
Well, when we say count your blessings, we don't mean to count numbers. we mean to remember them and think about them.
What's blessings?
Blessings are all the things we should be thankful for. Count all your blessings every day, all good things that come your way. Count the many things that make your life worthwhile. If trouble ever comes along, just remember this song. Count your blessings and you'll be able to smile.
Gee, I can count all my friends, especially the ones in my class.
And we can't forget our health and all the comforts we have at home.
I can count my wonderful family, you 2 children, and you, Father.
And our aunts.
And our uncles.
And we shouldn't forget all the wonderful opportunities we have living in this great country. Our schools, churches, our freedom. We sure have a lot to be thankful for.
Count